Hey y'all, I've got another journal to share that's gonna be listed in my Etsy shop when this video goes up. And I've had this one done for, I don't know, it's been a week or more, and I just haven't had a chance to get the video done. But I did this one with 2 rings, so I just did a ring bound journal. And then I added this little pom-pom trim on here and some quilt fabric on around the edges to reinforce it. Not that it really needed that, but just to add some more color. And then I wrapped it with one of my ties and added one of my little paperclip charm embellishments to it. And this one has a little bird on it and a little bead and buttons. Vintage, this is a vintage button here. And I think this fabric is a vintage fabric that came in one of Renee's kits that I bought from her. And then it will come with this little extra goodie pack. So there's a bunch of extra little things in here for you. I'm not going to go through all that, but there's fabric and some flowers and just fun stuff for you to play with in the journal, and another little package of extra goodies. And then there's some extra paper tucked in the back in here, some scraps and things like that from the papers. So this is the tie. So it's got really pretty, some of these fabrics are vintage, some of them are not vintage, but I just thought they all went really pretty together. So you can use that as the wrap, or, you know, like I say with my other ones, you can cut them apart and use them as tabs and pieces throughout the journal if you want to. And this book is from the 60s. I guess the 60s, let's see. And it is 8 by 9.5. And the story is included in this. And I don't know if any of you have watched any of my other videos, but some of the little tag embellishments that I've made, and I've showed some of them and I've posted them in a couple of groups, came from some of the things off the flyleaf pages in this book. So the only 2 pages that aren't included that came out of the original book were those 2 flyleaf pages. So you open this one up, make sure I'm in frame, and I kept this. I did not add anything to this other than I put this quilted fabric, and it's the top piece of a quilt, to just give it some decoration on the spine. And I love these images. So these were the images that were on the little flyleaf first pages of the book that I actually use for other things. I use for embellishments. So this is the inside cover, and this has the copyright. Actually, this book is not from the 60s. This book is from the 40s. I've got so many different things going on in my mind. So this is from 1946. If you can see that. But the original copyright was 1940, and this is the 1946 version. And this is the actual index and tells you all the poems. I can't even talk today. I just got home from work, y'all. I've been trying to get this video done for a week, and I thought, you know what? Today is the day I'm going to go home, and the first thing I'm going to do is do this video. So I need to just take a breath. But anyway, so this is the index page, and then I've mixed in a lot of really pretty scrapbook paper and some tea-dyed paper, writing paper, all of that good stuff. So this is a real pretty piece of scrapbook paper, and there's a pocket on the back, and it's stitched all around. And I used white thread in this, so it may not pick up on the video, okay? But there's a lot of stitching in this. So this is a pocket, and I've tucked a bunch of little goodies in here for you to play with. This is a graphics fairy. I thought she was really cute little fairy. Some tags from some scrapbook paper, a little envelope, and just other little bits for you to use in here. This is cut out from one of that old Mother Goose book that I've been using that up, and I've gotten a lot of things made out of that. So some writing paper, and I stitched around this and made a pocket. some plain scrapbook paper. I found me a punch, an edge punch. I didn't have any edge punches, and I found this one when I was in Texas at a little thrift store for $4. So I've been using that, and I love it. So this is a flip out. It's a flip out page. Okay, and I don't know, can you really see, can you see that? Yeah. And then I just stapled a little floral die cut to that. I kept that blank. There's a lot of space in here. I tried not to over embellish this, and I tried to give you a lot of things to embellish with, so you can use it as a writing journal, you can use it as a scrapbook, memory keeping. You can use these pages in this journal, or you can cut these images out if you want to cut them out and make tags and pockets. And the images in this book are just beautiful, and it's in great shape. The paper is that nice thick, it's a thick, really textured, nice paper. It really is. It's not, I'm not going to fold it up. It's not brittle. But I don't know, and the colors are amazing. It's got this, you can tell it's naturally vintage. The aging is just beautiful on it. And the imagery, the illustrations are awesome. This is another book that I absolutely love. And one of these was, I have two. This one, and I actually have another one. One of them was gifted to me from my sweet customer who sends me these amazing things. And she sent me one of these books, and I loved it so much that I went and found another copy. So I have another one. But look at these little boys. So it's a good morning, and then it's a good morning poem, and it's about the duck and the little tiny mouse. And I don't know, it's just really, really cute. Then here's a little vintage birthday card that I clipped in here. That is, has not been written in. Super cute. The little envelope that comes with it, and one of my little paper clips. Yeah, let's just spaz out completely today. This is one of my little paper clips that I've put in there for you. And now I have a neighbor now that has this dog, and I love dogs, but he barks all the time. I don't know if y'all can hear him or not, but so this is just some black, sort of, it's not a real thick cardstock, but cardstock, and I stitched this and made a pocket and put a little cluster here. So this is a little tuck spot too. So you can tuck things here and here and here and in here. I added a vintage little reading workbook page in here. Another piece of scrapbook paper. I'm trying to make sure I'm all in frame. Another piece of scrapbook paper, and I used a vintage quilt piece. This also came from those kits I bought from Renee that I have just been using and using and using everywhere. I love them. It's a quilt. I just cut one of the squares out and stitched and made a little pocket and tucked some little things in here. So there's a little welcome, a little stork. So this would be a great baby book, but it would also be just a great journal if you love, you know, kids stuff like I do. You can use it for anything. So this, I took the back of a one of those little kids books. Jessica sent me this. It's like a little pamphlet thing on different things about children. You know, the little paper books. And I just used the back piece of that, and I put a scrap piece of paper here and some fabric here, and just made kind of a little interesting little page there. Stitched a little flower to it. There's another one of the pages out of the book. This is another book that I really love. I loved all the illustrations. I just fell in love with it. More scrapbook paper, and I just put some little quilt pieces up here. It's a pocket on this side. Pocket on this side. The Dick and Jane page. And this is washi that I've added to it just to reinforce it. And the little washi flowers over here, and this washi tape. And this is Washi Wednesday. I love this tape because it it stays, it sticks. So I stitched a card on the back of this to make a tuck spot, and it's a little cankered up there. So if you want to keep that, in there, I love this little card. She made like a little pocket. You can keep it in there, or you can totally take this out, use it however you want to. This is some of that straw paper from Rachel at Roxy Creations, and use it for collage, and then use this somewhere else. My sewing machine likes to fight with me sometimes. This is just some ledger. I just kind of made it a little tuck. Another little pocket here with a little cluster, with a little deer printable and a little tag that I stamped on, and I added one of Phaedra's little flowers and then some vintage little fabric scrap there. I can see that. See that? So this is a pocket, and this you could actually tuck something here as well. A fabric pocket on the back side of that paper. I'm trying to get where I don't have to keep moving all around. Because if I get too high, up, it won't focus. You can't really see anything. So this is another one of the pages out of the book. Beautiful color illustration on this side. This is some tea-dyed paper. I just made a little flip. Added some scrapbook paper and some little lace. Another image from the Old Mother Goose book and one of my little fabric flowers. I left the back side plain. This is a little page from one of the Childcraft books, and just added a little fabric piece here, and you can add a button or something to that if you want to. I put some buttons in the goodies, and then the back side of that is this really cute poem. And I just love this. I love this floral with the butterflies and the bees. Added one of the little slide protector pages and tucked a bunch of little goodies in there. There's circles and flowers and butterflies and a tag and some other little pieces up here. So that's full of little goodies you can use in here. Old music, tea-dyed music paper, made a pocket here. Some more vintage fabric and lace and buttons and a little tag with some more little vintage fabric. This is just a cardstock paper with some fabric added to it, to the edge, and a little vintage card on this side, and that flips out. Okay. I really love the way this one came out. There's just a ton of fun stuff in here for you to play with, to use or leave it like it is, or, you know, journal, add pictures. This, I don't ever tea-dye my scrapbook paper because, well, I just want to give you the option, because this book with the rings, one thing I love about the rings too is that you have the option of taking this out. You can tea-dye it. You can go through here and stencil on it, paint on it, you know, whatever you want to do, and it just gives you a lot more things to play with. This is one of my my hidden paper clips. So as you can see, it's Mary's lamb on this side, and this was a little piece that I fussy cut out, and I actually coated it with a thin coat of the not glossy accents, but the triple thick. And this is just some scrapbook paper and the little poem, a little piece of vintage quilt, and it is attached to a little piece of vintage file folder and one of my little flowers up here. And then on the back side is a little card. So on one side, when you put the paper clip on, you see the card, and then on the other side, you see that. And it's a little finicky. You just have to kind of get in the right spot. And once you put it on there, so you've got that little decoration, and I'll pull something out. I'm just kind of working on these. So it works as a clip. So you can tuck something up underneath there on that side. I mean, I know you guys know how to use a paper clip, but I'm just showing you that it works. So you can tuck pictures or, you know, whatever you want up underneath it. And I love the way these turned out. I made several different ones, and they're a lot of fun. So this is just a piece of file folder, And I folded it up, and then I took a little scrap piece of the paper that I used in here and made a little pocket and tucked a bunch of little goodies in here. So there's some little wrapping paper, there's some scrapbook paper, there's some little florals. These are Felicity Jane from some of the stuff that I've had in my stash for a while. The paper line that I used to, when I did more scrapbooking, I was in that kit club, and I have a bunch of stuff that I'm using it up though and sharing it and things like this. So all those little pieces come in here too. And I just clipped them together and put them in this pocket. Another one of the pages from the book. And I love these. I think I even love the simple black and white drawings. In some cases more than the color ones, but they're all so pretty. So there's your April Fool poem. And then this is a piece of cardstock, it's double-sided, it's a different color. And on this one, I took a piece of lace and made a little band right here so you can stick things in there. And this flips out. So it's a whole big page. I did some stitching here and added a little piece of fabric washi on here at the bottom of this page. And then here's the mice poem on the back of that. Another one of those little workbook pages. And what I did was, I think I actually didn't intend to do this, but I think I was going to make a big pocket out of it, so it's actually the holes are, instead of doing it the other way, I did the holes like that. But I actually kind of intended for you to use this somewhere else in the book, not necessarily as a page, so you could cut these images out and the words out and things like that. So I wasn't too worried about it. I hadn't intended to punch the holes that way, but I don't think it matters because I think these would just be so fun to use on other pages with journaling and collage or whatever you want to do with them. So this is another piece of cardstock, and I made a pocket, stitched a pocket on here. And one of the other images from the little Mother Goose book. This is another one that I had fussy cut out and put the what's that stuff called? Yeah. Triple thick on it, so it's coated, and then did the little poem, made the little sort of collage tag, and using a file folder and fabric and stitching. So that's that little tag. And then on this side it flips out, and here is just a little collage with some little birds and fabric washi. Is the woodpecker poem here. And I left these two together. I love them. So there's some more of the drawings and poems from the book. Another little straw page for you to use. Cursive handwriting page from one of the big books, workbooks. Some more writing paper. And another piece of double-sided scrapbook pages. Did a little cluster down here. And this little piece I cut out. This little piece I cut out from that little, the little book that Jessica sent me about. It's about children. It's a little raising children sort of book from 1 to 5 or something like that. That's vintage, the little pamphlet. And there was these little images on the front, and I thought, little girl with that little kitty cat was so cute. So I cut her out, and I just made a little collage right here. And then on the other side of this, I did another little collage here with the little girl in the sand, because this is the beach. This was the beach picture in here. And then that just opens up as well. And this is just a file folder. I just left it plain. I put a little tag and a little circle up here as a little tuck spot. And I left that plain for you to do something in that if you want to. Some ledger paper. The happy sheep. This is another scrapbook paper. I folded it up, made a pocket, stitched around. And on the other side, I made this little, the little ribbon. And I just clipped a little, well, on this side, I clipped the little buttons to it, little vintage buttons right here. You can see that? I thought the colors just went with this perfect. I love the way this book turned out. I love everything about it. This is just some tea-dyed paper, and I stitched a pocket here, but I put a little scrap piece of paper here so you would know that that's a pocket, because it kind of blends if you don't do that. Another Dick and Jane page. Just put a little tab up here. And a lot of these pages, like all of the book pages from the actual book, I have reinforced on both sides with these hole reinforcers. And I added some extra hole reinforcers to the extra goodies. So if you want to reinforce any other pages, you can. But I added them where I thought, you know, they were most needed. The scrapbook paper, I don't think so much, unless you just have to be careful handling it. You know, if you're rough, then I would, you know, maybe put them on the rest of them. So here's some just scraps of paper for you to use that are left over. It's another piece of scrapbook paper here, and I just did a little scrapbook paper tab. Another piece of scrapbook paper here. I stitched down this one. I added a little piece of extra scrapbook paper here. This was a boo-boo. I kind of messed up, so I had to cover that up. But I thought that was pretty creative. I think it looks pretty cool like that. So you can do that on other pages too. See, I punched in the wrong place. Another piece of cardstock here. And then on this one, I made a pocket. Here, and then I clipped one of my little envelopes that I made, a little collage envelope. This was another image from the Mother Goose book, the little girl on the couch, and I just collaged some, I think it's, I don't know if that was a sewing type paper. There's vintage little pieces of paper behind there and some scrapbook paper, and then I did my stitching on it and added one of my flowers and a vintage button. And then I actually put some on this side. I used ink to kind of distress this, so I didn't over distress it, so to speak. But you can do that. You can add more to that if you want to. Some more my tea-dyed paper. And on this one, I just took some of those little octagons and stitched it. Then this, I believe we got one more page. This is pretty much the last illustration in the book, and then the last page is just the ending of the book. Oh, well, this is the last page, my bad. So, yeah. Reprinted by permission. See, this says 1933. So that must have been the original printing of those. And then on the back of this is just the, you know, that last page is the acknowledgments to the book. Then the very last page is more scrapbook paper I made into a pocket. Okay, so that's the end of the book. And in here are just a bunch of scrap pieces from the paper that I thought you might like to use. And that's the back of the book. And we're back to the front of the book, and I added all these little fabric pieces to the rings because I just think that's really, really cute. I like that look. But if you don't like that, you certainly can take those off of there and use it however you want. Anyway, I hope that's not too much rambling. I hope you were able to see everything really well. I really like this book. I think it's precious. I love the illustrations. I think it'd just be a lot of fun to use as a journal, as a art book, as a child's, you know, baby book, or, you know, anything. Just like most of them. I think there's so many possibilities. And then, again, here's all the little extra goodies you'll get, and there's a bunch of fun stuff in here to play with, guys. So thank you all for stopping by and watching, and please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, and let me know if there's anything else you want to see. I'm working on, I know I told you guys in the last video, I'm working on some more kits. I've got 2 other journals in progress, and one is a golden book and one is just a boy themed journal. Another Western journal I haven't finished, and a long list of things I want to do. So I'll be back. Anyhow, thank you all very much. Oh, and my subscriber giveaway too. I've said that like in the last 3 or 4 videos. I'm working on it. I promise I'm working on it. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.